Hey, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, everybody's having a great day. So, I know it's just the first episode, but as a diehard Last of Us fan and a gamer, I just feel like the video game mold of bad video game series or movies is finally over. I know it's only the first episode, but as us gamers who are big fans of the game, we have a sense where they're going, and I love how they adapt more of the video game story into the series and kind of veer off, and that's amazing. To stick to the source material, that's what you need to do. And I just feel like for a lot of us gamers, that's what we wanted. I hate when they do a property and they veer off so much and they sprinkle a little bit of the video game, but they want to do their own thing. And that's why video game movies have failed. Like Wing Commander, Doom, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Blood Rain. I will say probably before The Last of Us, the two best video game movies were probably Silent Hill, which included the score, which it felt like a Silent Hill, it felt like it felt like you were playing the game. I love Silent Hill, and I think the other one that comes kind of close to the game, but they veered off too much from the game is the rebooted Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander, which I love how they included the Yumiko storyline, the Yamata for Japan storyline, like that is fantastic. I think that's a great movie, but I think they veered off way too much. And it boils down to storytelling, good story. You got to have a good story for it to be a success. Now, for example, like Rings of Power, Amazon's, I think they spent what, 250 million to get the rights, and the first two seasons is costing 700 million. It's beautiful to look at, you know, the background, the costumes, but the story is awful. Like, no action, there's no story. Now, if you like Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, you know, hey, that's awesome. But for me, as a big Hobbit, Lord of the Rings fan, I just, it's really hard to get through. And I feel like a lot of people is going to see the success of that first episode. I mean, it got 7.4 million viewers, which is the second biggest viewership to a series. I think the first one, I don't know what the first one, I think it was Game of Thrones. I think it's that. I'm not sure. But I just feel like with video game properties, I feel like it works so much better as a series and then a movie, because it's so hard to try to take a huge video game that has a big story plot to try to cram in certain things from the video game into the movie from the video game in a 2-hour movie. It's nearly impossible. You have to do like multiple sequels to include, you know, the story plot, and even, you know, if the game has sequels, and then you're doing the first movie and then you're doing the second movie. Like the Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. They were concentrating basically on the first and second game, and it just did not work. You know, if they would have concentrated on the first game and then the sequel did the second, you know, the sequel did the second game, and they had great story, they had people who played the game, who knows the game, that would have been a success. But I just feel like video games work better as a series because you have, what, 9, 10 episodes. You can do multiple seasons to flesh out the story. You have more time to include this character and that character and do this part from the game and do that part for the game. So, but yeah, I never played God of War, but I want to play the God of War series. And with God of War going to Amazon, I'm kind of worried, because the Ring of Power, you could have all the money, you could spend all the money in the world. If you don't have good storytelling, your series is trash. And they should have Cory Barlog and David Jaffe, who worked on the game, be attached to the series, kind of like how Neil Druckmann is attached to the series. and he's just, working with Craig Mason. So yeah, I just feel like video game adaptations work better as a series. And I feel like Detroit Become Human, like I want HBO Max to be like, okay, we had this success with Last of Us. Let's turn Detroit Become Human into a series. I feel like Days Gone could be a really good series. I feel like if you did Tomb Raider, the rebooted game, as a series, I just feel like that would be successful. If you have a creator and great story, that adaptation is going to be a huge hit, just like The Last of Us. So, there's possible spoilers, but oh my God, the first time I saw The Last of Us, the first episode, like, I didn't see the what's coming in the next few weeks. And when they showed the Capitol building, I think it was the Capitol building, I'm like, okay, I know the museum is coming up. And for us who played the game, The Last of Us, we know that Tess's days is numbered to being in the show. Unless they veer off and they change it and they don't, kill Tess off. But I am waiting for that Joel and Tess interaction from the game when Joel's like, "What are we doing, Tess?" As my phone is ringing. But yeah, and the part where you find out that Tess has been bitten, and Tess goes, "This was like 3 weeks," and she's like, you find out she's bitten. I'm like, this is just an hour. So yeah, I just feel like video game adaptations work so much better as a series and then a movie.